1 Kings chapter 16. The word of the Lord came to Jehu, son of Hanani, against Baasha. Inasmuch as I exalted you from the dust and made you ruler of my people Israel, but you have walked in the way of Jeroboam and have caused my people Israel to sin, provoking me to anger by their sins, I will burn up what is left of Baasha and his house. I will make your house like that of Jeroboam, son of Nebat. One of Baasha's lines who dies in the city, dogs will devour. One who dies in the field, the birds of the sky will devour. The rest of the acts of Baasha, what he did, and his valor are recorded in the book of the Chronicles of the Kings of Israel. Baasha rested with his ancestors. He was buried in Tirzah, and his son Elah succeeded him as king. Through the prophet Jehu, son of Hanani, the word of the Lord came against Baasha and his house, because of all the evil Baasha did in the sight of the Lord, provoking him to anger by his deeds, so that he became like the house of Jeroboam, and because of what he had destroyed. The reign of Elah. In the 26th year of Asa, king of Judah, Elah, son of Baasha, became king of Israel in Tirzah for 2 years. His servant Zimri, commander of half his chariots, plotted against him, and he was in Tirzah drinking to excess. In the house of Arza, master of his palace in Tirzah, Zimri entered, he struck and killed him in the 27th year of Asa, king of Judah, and succeeded him as king. Once he was king, seated on the throne, he killed the whole house of Baasha, not sparing a single male relative or friend of his. Zimri destroyed the entire house of Baasha, according to the word the Lord spoke against Baasha through Jehu the prophet, because of all the sins which Baasha and his son Elah committed and caused Israel to commit, provoking the Lord, the God of Israel, to anger by their idols. The rest of the acts of Elah, with all that he did, and recorded in the book of the Chronicles of the Kings of Israel. In the 27th year of Asa, king of Judah, Zimri became king for the 7 days in Tirzah. The army was encamped at Gibbethon of the Philistines when they heard Zimri has formed a conspiracy and has killed the king. So that day in the camp, all of Israel made Omri, commander of the army, king of Israel. Omri and all of Israel with him marched up from Gibbethon and besieged Tirzah. When Zimri saw that the city was captured, he entered the citadel of the king's house and burned it down over him. He died because of the sins he had committed, doing what was evil in the Lord's sight, by walking in the way of Jeroboam, and the sin he had caused Israel to commit. The rest of the acts of Zimri, with the conspiracy he carried out, are recorded in the book of the Chronicles of the Kings of Israel. At that time, the people of Israel were divided in two, half following Tibni, son of Ginath, to make him king, and half for Omri. The partisans of Omri prevailed over those of Timni, son of Ginath. Timni died, and Omri became king. Reign of Omri. In the 31st year of Asa, king of Judah, Omri became king of Israel for 12 years, and the first 6 of them he reigned in Tirzah. He then brought the mountain of Samaria from Shamir for 2 silver talents, and built upon the mountain the city he named Samaria, after Shamir, the former owner. But Omri did what was evil in the Lord's sight more than any of his predecessors. In every way he imitated the sinful conduct of Jeroboam, son of Nebat, and the sin he had caused Israel to commit, thus provoking the Lord, the God of Israel, to anger by their idols. The result of the acts of Omri, what he did in his valor, are recorded in the book of the Chronicles of the Kings of Israel. Omri rested with his ancestors. He was buried in Samaria, and Ahab his son succeeded him as king. The reign of Ahab. Ahab, son of Omri, became king of Israel in the 38th year of Asa, king of Judah. Ahab, son of Omri, reigned over Israel and Samaria for 22 years. Ahab, son of Omri, did what was evil in the Lord's sight more than any of his predecessors. It was not enough for him to follow the sins of Jeroboam, son of Nebat. He married Jezebel, daughter of Ethbaal, king of the Sidonians, and began to serve Baal and worship him. Ahab set up an altar to Baal in the house of Baal, where he built in Samaria, and also made an Asherah. Ahab did more to provoke the Lord, the God of Israel, to anger than any of the kings of Israel before him. During his reign, Hiel from Bethel rebuilt Jericho. At the cost of Abiram, his firstborn son, he laid the foundation, and at the cost of Segub, his youngest son, he set up the gates, according to the word of the Lord spoken through Joshua, son of Nun. 5. The story of Elijah. 1 Kings chapter 17. Elijah proclaims a drought. Elijah, the Tishbite, from Tishbe to Gilead, said to Ahab, As the Lord, the God of Israel, lives, whom I serve during these years, there shall be no dew or rain except at my word. The word of the Lord came to Elijah, Leave here, go east, and hide in the Wadi Cherith, east of the Jordan. You shall drink of the wadi, and have commanded ravens to feed you there. So he left and did as the Lord had commanded. He left and remained by the Wadi Cherith, east of the Jordan. Ravens brought him bread and meat in the morning, and bread and meat in the evening, and he drank from the wadi. After some time, however, the wadi became dry, because no rain had fallen in the land. So the word of the Lord came to him, Arise, go to Zarephath of Sidon, and stay there. I have commanded a widow there to feed you. He arose and went to Zarephath. Where he arrived at the entrance of the city, a widow was there gathering sticks. He called out to her, Please, bring me a small cup of water to drink. So she left to get it, and he called out after her, Please, bring along a crust of bread. She said, As the Lord your God lives, I have nothing baked. There is only a handful of flour in my jar and a little oil in my jug. Just now I was collecting a few sticks to go in and prepare something for myself and my son. When we have eaten it, we shall die. Elijah said to her, Do not be afraid. Go and do as you have said. But first make me a little cake and bring it to me. Afterwards you can prepare something for yourself and your son. For the Lord, the God of Israel, says, The jar of flour shall not go empty, nor the jug of oil run dry, until the day when the Lord sends rain upon the earth. She left and did as Elijah had said. She had enough to eat for a long time. He and she and her household. The jar of flour did not go empty, nor the jug of oil run dry, according to the word of the Lord spoken through Elijah. Some time later, the son of the woman, the owner of the house, fell sick, and his sickness grew more severe until he stopped breathing. So he said to Elijah, Why have you done this to me, man of God? Have you come to me to call attention to my guilt and to kill my son? Elijah said to her, Give me your son. Taking him from her lap, he carried him to the upper room where he was staying and laid him on his own bed. He called out to the Lord, Lord my God, will you afflict even this widow with whom I am staying by killing her son? Then he stretched himself out upon the child 3 times, and he called out to the Lord, Lord my God, let the life breath return to the body of this child. The Lord heard the prayer of Elijah. The life breath returned to the child's body, and he lived. Taking the child, Elijah carried him down into the house from the upper room and gave him to his mother. Elijah said, See, your son is alive. The woman said to Elijah, Now indeed I know that you are a man of God, and it is truly the word of the Lord that you speak. God bless you.